the Source Magazine Power 30 channel. For those unaware of what the Power 30 is, it's an annual issue that the Source puts out, basically celebrating the movers and shakers, those who shape the hip hop culture that we all live by. So today we have an esteemed panel right now. We have to my far right, we have Reggie Hawkins, Director of Talent for Sirius Radio. To Reggie's left, we have Shanti Das. To her left, we have Mr. Shaka Zulu, co-CEO of DTP Records. To his left, we have Sean Pecos, VP of Lifestyle and Promotions for Island Def Jam. I'd like to really to be like a community conversation. I want everybody to kind of get involved. So first question I'm going to throw at the panel. If you were approached by one of these high school kids and they said they followed your career, what's the first piece of advice would you give them?
You know, I think that some of these big companies like a Def Jam and Universal, they kind of look at, you know, when they want an intern or something like that, it starts with school and being in, you know, trying to get in that college environment. And most times, you know, I know in a lot of areas it comes from an apprenticeship type of situation, but I think that being in school and trying to take your education to the next level kind of sets you up for, you know, being in one of these Fortune 500 companies.
You know, while you're in high school, it's not too early to start, you know, volunteering and trying to be around situations that you're interested in. When I was at Mays, you know, I had a strong love for music. I knew that early on, like 9th and 10th grade. And I had a friend who worked at B103, and so they allowed me to come and hang out and start early on. Like, you don't have to wait till you get to college.
You want to be a part of something, truly study. For those who might say they follow any of our careers and know who any of us are, we're what we consider behind the scenes people. So you have to study a little bit more in depth. You got to start putting yourself in a position to receive opportunity. Internship is one way, even a part-time job.
It's more about respect, like treating everybody you meet with respect. Because throughout my career, I've worked with each and every one of these panelists on different levels. I think what has helped me, and I will tell you guys if anybody asks, the most important thing for me is treating people with respect, and that eventually helps you into maintaining great relationships throughout either your your school career or your professional career.
My next question, actually, I'm going to direct this at Sean, but me being in the industry, like I can look at marketing and promotions. To me, that's pretty fly. But I know, most high schoolers, when you talk about Def Jam, they'd rather be signed by Def Jam. Like, when did you realize that you wanted to actually get into marketing, get into the lifestyle of, kind of like evolving these artists as opposed to just being one?
Once I found that I couldn't rap. I think 90% of the people that I meet that have worked in the music industry, one way or another, like either want to be an artist, a musician, or had some type of creative, creative juices within themselves. I always want to either be a DJ or I want to write sitcoms. A lot of that creativeness is what made me want to get into that field. So I said to myself, if I wasn't that good creatively with either rapping or singing or dancing, I had to figure out a way of what I could contribute to someone who could.
Shaka, I mean, I know your story. I mean, you've always seem to be comfortable behind the scenes and being the one that helps, create the superstar. Where did that come from? Just not wanting the limelight, but wanting to create the limelight for somebody else.
And at a certain point, it's not that you're not good enough. You just look at it and you figure out what your real passion is, right? And when you get passionate about something, it's something you'll do whether you get paid for it or not. You find out what your passion is, and then you figure out how you can achieve that goal. And if you can find a way to make your hobby your career, I think all of us were able to make our hobby our career.
Someone ask a question? Yep, come.
I appreciate the fact that you donated your time for the students at Douglas High School. However, as a teacher who's been in the public education system for well over 25 years, sir, madam, with great respect, I beg you, I implore you, clean it up. Clean up the language. Clean up the images of young women. I see the effects, the devastating effects that it has on our children. my students don't like me to stand up here and make these types of comments, and they can disagree with me. Our students need balance. They are not able to discern. They don't have the power of discrimination, sir and madam.
Well, we kind of asked the question of which came first, the chicken or the egg. Are we just a general reflection of what's happening on your level, or are we the purveyors of truth? The school system and the lack of funding, the lack of instruments, you know, hip hop kind of voices that, and what you're seeing is the product. A lot of times, what you're seeing is a product of society.
My name is Janie. Being as we are young adults, we have the power to make the decision to do whatever we want to do.
And my thing is, sometimes you have to show the kids so they can understand. Like, sometimes you got to show them the negative side. It's all about practically applying stuff to them. How can they understand what's out there? Sometimes the best way for them to understand is to see it for themselves.
The black existence in our culture is a compounded issue. So if we take away rap music, then we got to take away a few other things. And we know that there's an imbalance. Like I said, but that's why we're in the position. That's why you chose to be in the position that you're in, so that you're a gateway person. We're gateway people. I tell an artist, you have to be who you are. So if you come from poverty and drugs and things like that, it's not a problem to talk about it. It's not a problem. But you can't talk about it for 5 albums straight. And that's what a Young Jeezy preaches. He came from a lifestyle. So when he says he's a motivator, he's saying for people who come from the world like me, this is how we can get out. We just have to give them examples, multiple examples, to fight a compounded issue. And we are clear that we have issues in our community with whether it's parenting, community safety, drugs. What I am clear about is this. And this is what we have to do as teachers and parents and guardians of the youth. We have to look at the context and the timing of things.
Is that Miss Pearson? I was your student, Shanti Das, over 20 years ago. And so going back to what Shaka said, and I worked in the music industry almost 20 years. I was taught early on from my parents the rights and wrongs. And I'm not negating what you were saying. I just want to make a statement. My mom let me listen to music that had profanity in it, but I knew not to repeat it. And I got into the music industry because I had that balance in my life, whether it was from spirituality or my parents, or being around other women that had self-esteem and self-respect for themselves. I knew when I got into the business, I knew I wasn't going to go into the office with my chest hanging out or a miniskirt on like I was working at the club. I knew it was a place of business. So it is a balance. It does go back to the family.
It's not always about what they're rapping about. You know, sometimes you can go platinum and do nothing with your money. Sometimes you can go platinum and build schools and fund camps and things like that. That's where the true power comes in.
A question, a real question for the panel. I see a lot of my students and talk to them about, what do you want to do when you grow up? What do you want to do? And some of them say they want to be in the entertainment industry. My question is, when I'm seeing the videos and I'm seeing them with the big cars and the big money and that kind of thing, what's the real deal in terms of the long-term financial benefits and gains for people who get in the industry, artists particularly, long-term? What's the retirement plan? How do they really make money long-term?
That is mostly 100% entertainment. Those things are done in the videos to create, so as soon as you guys see a video, that's eye candy. When it comes to the girls, the jewelry, the cars, those things are for you to get your attention, and then the music is supposed to hold you there.
It speaks to education once again, and that's my big thing. That's why I came in today, because understand, when you're MC Hammer and somebody gives you $30 million and you don't know what to do with it, you're gonna lose it. If the high school's not teaching you finances and some of these things coming out the gate, then where are these guys where are they gonna get this education? And it goes back to your values. So what do you value? Some rappers value education. Some rappers value jewelry. Some people value excessive things. So you know, bottom line is, if this type of thing is not being taught on this type of level in education, then who teaches a rapper what to do with $30 million when you get it?
Thank the students that remain, the students that came left. Thank our esteemed panelists, the Source Magazine Power 30 panel.